Look at you guys. You both got haircuts,
Oh,
huh?
yes.
Did you go together?
No.
No?
No, we went to our own, stylist, barber, or whatever. We allow too close to us with sharp edges. But it's getting close to September, so I got my back-to-school haircut.
Very nice,
Oh,
Father.
yes.
And is that your back-to-school haircut?
As well.
Did you guys get your book bags and your new wardrobes and your
No,
notebooks?
but I'm looking for a new lunchbox.
Oh, I've been looking for a lunchbox for you also.
Yes.
Fraggle Rock.
I need a new backpack.
A new backpack?
Yes. That's
All right, we'll get that going.
But you're going to need a see-through backpack now.
Oh, our world is crazy.
I know, very crazy.
And speaking of that,
Yes,
we're in the midst of a lot of craziness nonstop. This is kind of a quiet time in our season. There's not much going on at the parish, besides the normal craziness. And it's a really good time as we get ready to go back to the craziness of our lives, going back to school, work, if you had summer hours, now you're going back to your regular hours soon. It's a good time to kind of appreciate that quiet. And
yeah, I mean, basically, we have maybe 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks before Labor Day. And, activity-wise, it's just, the celebration of the sacraments. Excuse me, so it is a little more quieter. And hopefully people will use this time, just to reflect on what they did this summer, their vacation time. Some people might be taking vacation at this time. But also the interest in the church's liturgical calendar of maybe contemplation and reflection.
And talking about contemplation and the craziness of the world, it will be a nice opportunity to invite people to take time to pray, to find peace of mind and heart in prayer. That will be really a good opportunity on this time of the year and everything that is happening in our society, in our world, to take time for prayer, for peaceful prayer. So we don't have to say many things, just to be 5 minutes quietly in the presence of God. That will give you peace, to connect with God, who is the source of life and peace.
there's a great app that Monsignor and I both use called Pray As You Go, and it's it's kind of like Lectio Divina, but it's also an examen, which is an Ignatian spirituality. It's a free app that you can get on iTunes or whatever you use, and it takes about 10 to 11 minutes, the whole reflection. There's a little scripture, there's some reflection questions, usually there's music involved, but it's excellent. I start my day out with that. I love it. You do yours in the morning too, right?
Yes, I've been using it in the morning, and I kind of like how it begins with bells ringing. And sometimes I use different type of bells, but mostly it's just the pealing of bells. And of course, bells within the Christian tradition was always a call to prayer. And so it's kind of sets me in the mood, especially when I share my first cup of coffee with the Lord, and I listen to the reading, I listen to the reflection, and it's a good way to start the day.
Yeah, really kind of centers it. So that's one thing that you can use if you want to infuse some contemplation time into your day. There's also a great website, which we have spoken of before, called IgnatianSpirituality.com, and that has the examen on it, which we have also encouraged people to take a look at. It's walking through your day with God in gratitude and looking to see what didn't go so well and what you hope to improve the next day, without any guilt, without any blame, but just to kind of focus on the freedom of your choices and the freedom of the choosing of your words and your interactions with people. And it helps to, again, center us and make us more aware of how we're engaging with the world. So that's a really great
I always think about the Ignatian examen of conscience invites people to look at both where God was present as well as where God was not present. And I think
where we didn't make him present.
Where we didn't, because God is always present.
Right.
But I always think of Teresa of Avila when she would tell her sisters, your examen of conscience should be when you met God, don't focus on your faults because your sisters already know your faults. Everybody knows our
Living in
faults.
community, yeah.
But focus on where God was present, and I believe that type of spiritual approach might give us hope, because so often we always think of the times when we lost our temper, when we yelled at family members, when we got angry. But we never remember those moments when we were patient, where we used counsel instead of condemnation, when we affirmed others instead of criticized. We don't remember that.
And we need to, you're right.
And we need to. We need to. Okay.
All right. So another thing that's coming up is the end of the month, the August 31st and September 1st, we have our new traffic pattern that's coming. And I know Frank explained it to us in one of our recaps a few weeks ago, but just as a reminder that that's coming, and please be aware, there's a diagram in the bulletin if you're still not sure what's going to happen, but yeah.
And that's not only on weekends, that's also during the week, from beginning the Labor Day weekend. The entrance with the main sign will be our entrance entering. And then if you're exiting, you will use the drive nearest to the park. We ask everybody to obey that regulation for the safety of each other. And especially during religious education, we are concerned because so many of our religious education families, because of summer vacation, have not been at church. And so they might not know of this, and when they bring their children to class, they will discover new signs, new arrows directing people, and it will be enforced. The Knights of Columbus are joining us. We are going to have police directing traffic, so we get into that habit. And please do not tell me it's not going to work, because it works in a lot of other parishes, and although we like to think the Co-Cathedral is unique, we're not special.
Monsignor, what about those who live in that big house?
In that big house,
Yes.
when we exit, we have to use the drive nearest to the park.
No exceptions, Father.
I've already been practicing. But
Oh, no exceptions, Father.
But there is a tendency to forget, but we will, except if you're making a call to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning.
thank you. You see, you listen, exceptions with the hospital.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
All right. The parish picnic is coming up on the 15th of September.
Yes.
It always goes, it's on the Sunday closest to our feast day, which is September 17th, the Feast of St. Robert Bellarmine. And the tickets are being sold at masses on the weekend. They are half sold, so if you're looking to participate in that event, please try and get your tickets soon.
We had to put a cap on how many people we could fit into the parish hall, because in trying to figure out other seatings, people were a little miffed at where they found themselves sitting. And so we ask that if you're planning on coming, make the decision and pick up your tickets ASAP. I think they already gave away about 200 tickets. So.
Yeah, and we have to work with the fire safety capacity for this space. And as Monsignor said earlier today before we were filming, that this is, it's an Italian picnic. You cook outside and you eat inside. It's totally backwards, but it's fun. So come, make sure you get your tickets. They're $7 per person.
Are you coming this year?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You see, she's saying yes.
Yep, I am.
What do you mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing with them.
Every year I'm too late to buy tickets. I'm gonna do it this year. I'm resolved. Okay, so on the 17th, which is our feast day, but this is not relevant to our feast day, the diocese is hosting an addiction recovery mass here at 7 p.m. in the church, and that's for anybody who has been affected by addiction, whether it's your own or somebody else's. It's for healing and praying for those who are bound by the pain of addiction. So that's going to be at 7 p.m. the 17th of September here. Please come, tell people about it. It's going to be nice. And we got a new tabernacle in the chapel.
Yes, at the moment, our sanctuary in the chapel looks a little crowded because we still have our display from for Mary on the Feast of the Assumption, and we're working on a back platform for a new tabernacle. And then hopefully, once that is completed, we'll select a day and we'll have the blessing of that tabernacle, and that Mass will be probably in the evening during the week in the chapel, and we'll make sure the chapel is big enough to hopefully include as many people who would like to come. And where the old tabernacle was will be turned into a shrine to St. Robert Bellarmine.
Nice.
That's good.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Good. And then our last item is Father Bausch, speaking of the chapel.
Yes. As I think we mentioned earlier in the summer, Father Bausch notified us that his leukemia is in remission, thanks be to God, and he has contacted us about maybe coming back to celebrate a Mass. If that happens, it'll probably be in the chapel. We will make sure that we have enough space to accommodate those who would like to come and attend that celebration, and we look forward to welcoming Father Bausch back. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, he looks great. He came by last week to check out the chapel and see how it, felt, to make sure he could do the step, and, there was plenty of things for him to lean on, because he's really quite well, but, not as strong as he used to be.
Yes.
So he's, it will definitely be in the chapel. He can't do the church. And, but he's looking forward to coming back and saying Mass also. So it'll probably be a Friday, if that was his Mass, probably at 9 o'clock, but, we'll let you know.
Yes. And the reason why we're videoing?
I keep saying filming. I'm old.
Filming.
I don't know.
Filming,
Filming
okay.
isn't right.
Recording.
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 Thanks,
Recording.
Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. He's our technical engineer.
Yeah.
We're recording here is really to give credit to our garden. And the fountain is working. And we want to give a shout out
It's working.
to Steve. It is working.
It's working.
It's working.
Okay.
The fount of life.
Yes. And it's the first time water has come through that in 2 years. So
Oh.
we're very grateful.
Good job, Steve.
And Steve Stump, we thank you. It still has work to do. And once the season is over, that's when we'll, do some heavy lifting as far as fixing it and making it a permanent part of the garden, with water running out of it. But we're very grateful to that. And also, just our condolences to the Valentine family. Mike Valentine, who Anna and Mike are longtime parishioners. Mike passed away this past week. His funeral is on Saturday, and we want to extend our condolences to Anna and to her family. And just that your parish family is with you in prayer at this time. Okay? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
God bless.
See you at Mass.